all the way up until the last day to vote, which is November 5th. In LA County, you may vote at any voting center or polling place of your choosing. Early voting has already started, both in person and by mail. If you need information about your registration or any election question, call the Registrar of Voters at 800-815-2666. That's 800-815-2666, or visit lavote.gov. Once you fill out your mail-in ballot, you may drop it in any county election mailbox found outside places like libraries, or you could drop it off with a poll worker at any vote center. If you suspect election foul play, voter suppression or intimidation, or other irregularities, or if you need to know more about your rights, call the Election Protection Hotline at 1-866-OUR-VOTE. That's 866-687-8683. From any state. And if you need more information on specific candidates or propositions, check out our interviews and analysis on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, November 5th is the last day to vote, and the sooner we do it, the better. Helping you vote like your life depended on it, because it does. Your election information station, KBLA, Talk 1580.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Narcissists are nothing by themselves, despite their own thoughts. They are filled with shame, dread, and insecurity. In fact, it's almost impossible for them to be conscious of it, except in rare occasions when they melt down and that window of opportunity opens up and they can connect to their shame. And many of us have seen how pathetically broken they act, and that's when they beg and plead and will promise you everything. But that window closes very quickly and does not come back. They are oblivious to their darker sides, their shame. The induced conversation is what keeps them in control. It's what commands their power and control strategies. As long as they can get you to respond to them, talk to them, defend yourself, argue, then you are in the wrestling ring.
Ross Rosenberg. Love his work. Let me just say this. Let me just set this up real quickly. Okay. I'm so tired of the word narcissist. Oh my God. I'm tired of it. Because, yes, there are people out there that are malignant narcissists. There are people out there that are grandiose narcissists. Yes, there are people out there that are covert, vulnerable narcissists. Sure, sure. I'm not talking about those people. Okay? They're on the far end of the bell curve, right? They have their own little enclave of people, according to the stats, DSM-5, what are they saying? 1% of the population? What are they saying? And then somebody else did a study. It's 6.5% of the population. Then someone else did a study. It said it's 1% of the population. Okay, fine. We do know that there are people out there that are clinically diagnosable as suffering from NPD. But I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that are kind of like diet narcissists. Narcissism with saccharin or aspartame. Do you understand? That means the rest of us. Right? You don't have to be clinically diagnosable as a narcissist, right? Yeah, part-time narcissist. I like that too. You don't, listen, you don't have to be clinically diagnosed as a narcissist. You don't. Okay? To have narcissistic traits. And I believe, I do believe that a lot of people have narcissistic tendencies. I believe everyone has narcissistic tendencies. I believe that. I believe that everyone has narcissistic tendencies. And a lot of people don't know how we share these tendencies, right? Let's just say gaslighting. I think everybody does that. Stonewalling. I think everybody does that. Manipulation. I think everybody does that. I think everybody does, right? Now, here's the thing that's going to really take you guys to the next level for this topic. Because I think what happens is people seem to think that you have to be a narcissist in order to do these things. And if you're not a narcissist, you somehow don't do these things. And when I say these things, I'm talking about these behaviors, these negative behaviors. And a lot of us have it in us, and we do it all the time, and can still not be considered a narcissist, okay? Let's get into tonight's topic because it's going to be interesting. And then tomorrow, I think I'm going to do it. I was talking to Andy about it, and I think I'm going to do it. I might as well do it because everybody wants to talk about it. And I think I'm going to do the origin story of monogamy because, I love Robin. And Robin, boy, I be sitting outside the studio listening to Robin's show, and she be touching on stuff. I be like, yeah, get him. So I love it. So I think I may do that. Now, let me just get to tonight's topic. Because this is important. This isn't necessarily talking about narcissism or narcissists. This isn't necessarily talking about them, although narcissists share some of these traits, which is why we played the Ross Rosenberg clip in the beginning. Tonight's topic is going to deal with something that I think a lot of people are really frustrated with because they're always saying, why did I get this type of person? How did they show up in my life? Why is it that I get the same type of person? Why am I constantly experiencing a replay of something I didn't want before? How do they find me? Right? They find you because you haven't changed. You haven't changed because you haven't healed. you haven't healed because it hurts. Tonight's topic, mirrored toxicity. Trauma soul / cellmates. Hear what I'm saying? Trauma soul / cellmates. We hear the clinicians, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, everybody say the same thing. Oh, it happened in childhood. It came from childhood. It came from childhood. It happened in childhood. This is where but all trauma in childhood does not lead to the development of narcissism, which means people who have narcissistic traits, right? Although they may not be full-blown narcissists, still share those traits. Now let's dig even deeper. Do you know your wounds, your unhealed wounds, your deep-seated issues wants to be in relationship that is equally yoked? I know you don't want to hear it put that way. I know you don't want to hear it put that way, but your wounds want to be in an equally yoked relationship, so they seek what is familiar to them. Remember, you don't have a say in it. A lot of times you're attracted unconsciously, right, to an unrequited wound's desire. Tonight's topic, mirrored toxicity, trauma soul / cellmates. The Tao of dysfunctional compatibility. Zoe, what are you saying? Are you saying that our unhealed wounds are looking for a compatible wound? Yes, a wound mate. Yes, your wounds want a soulmate just like you do. Do you understand? A deeper look at the dance between the pleaser-fixer and the taker-controller. Oh, this is ugly. What are some key characteristics that SLDDs and narcissists share that allow for the dance between them to take place? If you're an SLDD, this is a Ross Rosenberg term, which means self-love deficient disorder, which is just another word for codependence. The codependence turns out to be a people pleaser. They kind of marginalize their own needs or push their own needs to the side in order to prop up and build up the taker of control, which is typically the narcissist, right? The reason why I called this topic mirrored toxicity, it's very simple. Mirrored toxicity. Because you have a lot of people out there who seem to think that relationship isn't a mirror and it's random, and you get the random good person or you get the random bad person. And let me just go even deeper with the mirror of toxicity. If dysfunction is your norm, you've developed a taste for it. And in developing a taste for it, you could be in a relationship with somebody toxic and in your mind making it work or extending it or, just pulling it together to you makes sense because dysfunction is your norm, right? You'd be okay with that. This is why when somebody comes into your life that isn't in alignment with your norm, they irritate the demons you've made friends with. Do you understand? They make the demons that is your norm uncomfortable. Their presence, the way they talk, how they communicate starts to irritate you. Like, oh my God, this person just gets on my nerve. Well, because listen, you do any research on the narcissist, you're going to find out that the relationship is about to go straight to hell. in a hypercar. It's about to go to hell. You know why? Because the narcissist loves to perform and behave in a clandestine manner. They don't want to be detected. And the moment you detect the mask, they feel exposed. Now, we know that a narcissist, or people with narcissistic tendencies, right, have this sense of confidence, right? Has this winner vibe, like, yeah, I got it together. Everything is good. But deep down inside of the narcissist, or someone who is riddled with narcissistic tendencies, you come to discover that there's a deep shame wound, right? A shame wound, right? A narcissist is not going to feel guilt, because guilt is closely associated with empathy. They're not going to feel bad. They're not going to feel remorse, but they can feel shame. And this is why they constructed the mask. Do you understand? When I come forward, I'm going to highlight how you date. Oh my God. How you date for wound compatibility. Their wound has to be compatible with mine. It's unconscious for many of you, but yes, wound compatibility. Tonight's topic, mirrored toxicity, trauma soul/cellmates. The Tao of dysfunctional compatibility. It's on and cracking. Let's go.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Get up! Simon said, get up! Throw your hands in the sky. Queens is in the back, sipping yak, y'all. What's up? Ladies, looking hot and pretty. Doing your thing in the club, Pasta Diddy. Worldwide, the gritty committee, pity the fool that act. In the midst of the calm, the witty. Y'all know the name. Pharaoh, Monte, ain't a damn thing came. You all up in your range, just inebriated. Straight from your original plan, you deviated. I alleviated the pain with long-term goals. Slip my underground loop without the gold. You sold platinum around the world, I sold wood in the hood. But when I'm in the street, it's all good. Assume the motivator, boom, control the game like boom. Rate a rock, clock, dollars flip, tips like a way to block shots. Styles way to let my lyrics annoy.
Welcome to my latest video blog. Today I'm going to talk about the essay, Codependency Don't Dance. It came to me at a time when I was doing my own work, thanks to a great therapist, and I was trying to figure out why I was always attracted to harmful people who in the beginning seemed so great, seemed so wonderful, and so beautiful, but end up would hurt me. At the time, it was easy for me to blame others. As a therapist, I could diagnose a lot of people. But one of the problems that I had was I could not see my role in these relationships. I just considered myself unlucky. I considered myself unfortunate. I'm just too good of a guy. I'm always trying to help people, and I get sucked into these bad relationships. But thinking of myself as a victim only perpetuated the problem. I had to start admitting to myself that I was playing a role in these dysfunctional relationships. And that was the very beginning of my own codependency recovery. This essay was ground zero for me. It was the beginning of my transformation. It was when I finally gained the perspective that I no longer was a victim, but instead I was a participant in a dysfunctional relationship pattern. A couple weeks ago, I decided to...
Listen, Ross, I love you. I love you, Ross. I love your ideas. I love your concepts. But I don't believe that the narcissist is the only one doing the hurting. Or the person with narcissistic tendencies. I don't believe they're the only one hurting people. My good friend, Alan Berger, Dr. Alan Berger, author of 12 Steps to Emotional Sobriety. He's been on this show. I believe the SLD not only is a masochist, a psychological masochist, a spiritual masochist, because they hurt themselves. They pursue what hurts them unconsciously, and then later on, consciously. It's an addiction, right? I believe there's a certain level of masochism involved in the SLD, in the empath, in the quote-unquote good guy. I don't think there's no good guys. I don't think there are any good guys. No. Dr. Berger said we are all victims of victims. And we all play a huge role in what we allow and what we do to ourselves. Listen, you signed up for BS when you manifested Carl Jung's edict. When he said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid looking at themselves. So if you are actively working on not looking at what needs to be dealt with within you, you signed up for the BS. You signed up for the mess. You signed up for the lesson. You actually manifested it by ignoring the inner work. Right? Wounds need love too. Wounds have a soulmate too. I know you don't want to hear it that way. How does the narcissist's insatiable need for control mirror the SLD's, self-love deficient, codependence, unconscious drive to fix broken relationships? How does this symbiotic relationship perpetuate their attachment wounds? In what ways do both codependents, SLDDs, and narcissists create an illusion of compatibility by projecting their unhealed childhood traumas onto each other? Are they doing it to each other? Is the SLD, self-love deficient, codependent person just as culpable, right, as the narcissist? We like to villainize the narcissist, right? Oh, you narcissistic. Well, you codependent. It should be equally as impactful to be told that. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to hear from you. In what ways do both the codependent and narcissist create an illusion of compatibility by projecting their unhealed traumas onto each other? And how does this illusion reinforce their mutual dysfunction? Does trauma bonding between codependents and narcissists reflect a warped vision or version of what Pema Chodron describes as basic goodness? Or does it trap individuals in cycles of emotional baggage that distort the very nature of love? You think somebody did it to you when you did it to yourself internally. You attracted the person that will do it to you because of what you've done to yourself internally. Yes. Yes. If the good aspects of your spirit can find compatibility in the good aspects of another person's spirit, what makes you think the dark side doesn't have a level of compatibility? Are you compatible with your partner's wounds and they with yours? Toxic mirroring. When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna drill down even further.
Worldwide, the gritty committee, pity the fool that act in the midst of the calm, the witty. Yo, where you at? Uptown, let me see them. Notorious for the 6'5s and the BMs. Heads give you beef, you put them in the mausoleum. And don't start bumping till after 12 p.m. Ignorant minds are free 'em. If you tired of the same old every day, you will agree 'em.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The exonerated Central Park 5 is suing former President Trump for defamation. The group's attorney, Shane Inspector, says the lawsuit was filed in response to comments made by the former president during last month's presidential debate. Flesh-eating bacteria cases are on the rise in Florida following recent hurricanes. Health officials say the potentially life-threatening bacteria is commonly found in warm coastal waters and becomes more of a threat after heavy rainfall and flooding. After going through a major overhaul, LaGuardia Airport in New York is being rated the best airport in the United States by Forbes Travel Guide. That's a far cry from about 10 years ago when the airport was rated the worst in the country. And President Biden is honoring recipients of the National Medal of Arts and Humanities, including Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, Spike Lee, and more. Speaking at a White House ceremony, the president said the recipients have broken barriers and redefined culture and are masters of their craft who have made America better. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
KBLA Talk 1580 is here for you as you make your voting plan. And we've got a few things you may want to know. In the state of California, you can register to vote all the way up until the last day to vote, which is November 5th. In LA County, you may vote at any voting center or polling place of your choosing. Early voting has already started, both in person and by mail. If you need information about your registration or any election question, call the Registrar of Voters at 800-815-2666. That's 800-815-2666, or visit lavote.gov. Once you fill out your mail-in ballot, you may drop it in any county election mailbox found outside places like libraries, or you could drop it off with a poll worker at any vote center. If you suspect election foul play, voter suppression or intimidation, or other irregularities, or if you need to know more about your rights, call the Election Protection Hotline at 1-866-OUR-VOTE. That's 866-687-8683 from any state. And if you need more information on specific candidates or propositions, check out our interviews and analysis on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, November 5th is the last day to vote, and the sooner we do it, the better. Helping you vote like your life depended on it, because it does. Your election information station, KBLA Talk 1580.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
Chevy, All the Things 2024 Truck Season Radio 30, code GWMR0294000.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just, with impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Boom, boom. Tick, tick, tick. Yeah. 5'9", Yo. I'm the verbal spit, Smith Wesson. I unload with 6 spit, the quick wit could split a split second. A bomb with a lit wit expression. You hear a tick tick, then you test it. My My saliva and spit, the split thread and the fiber and bit. So trust me, I'm as live as it gets. Everybody claimed it the best and they had the throne since Big is gone. If you ask me, they dead wrong. My flow is hotter than the flash from the click when the hammer slaps the bullet on the ass from the clip. You wind up in a room full of my dogs. I have you feeling like a fire hydrant in a room full of dogs. So come now, get on, get on. Tough talk turns to can't we all just...
One of the standard kind of relationships that ecologists will study between two species in a community is something called a symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationships are when you have two organisms that live in close contact some or all of their lives. Now, stereotypically, is just mutualism and commensalism. Some people also include parasitism, and I've even seen some tests or textbooks that include predation. So I'll describe all of them so you can see how they all interrelate. Mutualism is basically when two different creatures both benefit from their relationship. There's many examples of this in nature. For example, cats and humans. Cats get nice shelter, we feed them. What do humans get? Well, they hunt down rodents for us. And in modern times, they've actually found that having a cat helps reduce the amount of negative emotions that people have. Similarly, between dogs and humans. Other examples in nature might include lichen is a common example given, where you have a fungus and an algae actually working together. The algae provides glucose from photosynthesis, while the fungus provides water and minerals from the rock that it's able to break down for the algae.
Yeah, I hear you, science guy, Bill Nye. And I can extrapolate meaning from what he said and apply it to relationships. Are our wounds in a symbiotic relationship? Is it a parasitic relationship? He said parasitic, but then he also said predation. Is my wound preying on yours, and vice versa? Does trauma bonding between codependents and narcissists reflect a warped version of what Pema Chodron described as basic goodness? Or does it trap individuals in cycles of emotional bondage that distort the very nature of love? How does the narcissist's use of future faking serve as a psychological manipulation tactic that exploits the codependent's deep-seated fear of abandonment? And why do codependents repeatedly fall into this trap despite knowing the pattern? Right? How does the codependent's idea of building a relationship serve as a form of spiritual bypassing, where the dream of partnership becomes a substitute for the actual inner work required to cultivate self-love and healing internally? Does the energetic enmeshment between codependents and narcissists reflect a deeper karmic lesson about self-boundaries? And could it be a lesson in learning to dismantle the false egoic attachments that keep them tethered to dysfunction? I'm telling you, when dysfunction is perceived as normal instead of curriculum, it should be seen as curriculum. Oh, there's dysfunction. I must study it. I must deconstruct it. I must learn from it. I must rebuild it as something else. I must give it a purpose in a different direction. Many people don't do that. Don't understand how to do that. Right? What we go through is a type of curriculum that is designed to facilitate self-awareness, growth. Do you understand? The dance of dysfunction, exploring the mirror dynamics of codependence and narc-like individuals. I have to keep saying this. Not everybody is a narcissist, but most people have narcissistic tendencies. Right? The interplay between the selfless doormat dater, the codependent, the SLDD, the self-love deficient, and the diet narc or the uncut narc, the blue magic narc, emerges as a compelling case study in mirrored toxicity, a phenomenon that not only elucidates the complexities of attachment styles, but also invites a deeper exploration of the existential underpinnings of love, identity, and healing. Through the lens of various influential thinkers, you know who they are by now, we're going to unravel the nuances of this toxic compatibility. We're going to probe the philosophical, the psychological, and the spiritual dimensions that characterize their dance. Somebody's always trying to do more than they're required to. Somebody's always trying to control what is not theirs to control. This is the dance that many of us are in. We don't understand why we're in this dance. We don't understand why we attract these type of people, but they're in our lives. Sometimes we're the controller. Sometimes we're the tap dancer. Sometimes we're the performer. If I perform right, if I do right, and I would say, if you're one, you're capable of being the other. Because guess what? They're a part of the same coin. If you're one, you're capable of being the other. And I would even argue that at some point in time in your life, you have been the other. You've been both. You've vacillated. Let's just be honest. There's no clear monolithic demarcation that separates one side from the other. Nah. I believe you've been both. And you've been in relationships that have required you to dance, that have required you to perform. I know people don't want to hear it tonight. I know people they, I was the victim. No. If you ignored your intuition, you were the architect of the dysfunction you allowed. Right? If fear helped you make a choice, and that choice was to stay when your intuitive process said do not, you're the DJ of the dysfunction, the dysfunctional rhythm in this relationship. Don't be mad. Don't be mad because I said it. I've been the DJ on many nights when Spirit was saying, get the entire hell out of there. Did I listen? No. 1-800-920-1580. I know y'all listening tonight. At the core of codependence and narc-likes, at the core of this dynamic lies an uncanny mirroring of psychological imbalances. Both parties reflect unhealed childhood wounds, with the codependent's compulsive need to fix, and the narcissist or the narc-like, right? Their insatiable hunger for control, echoing the unresolved traumas of their formative years. You know your mama did the best she could, but she was broken. You know your daddy didn't share, didn't talk, didn't reveal his emotions in many cases. Come on. You know who you came from. And you know it's wrong. Let me just say, from a spiritual base, you must feel it. It must, like in Star Wars, when the Jedi are questioning something, search your feelings. You know at some point, man, doing this person like this, expecting this person to show up when my mama didn't show up. It has to feel spiritually ajar to some of you. Maybe it doesn't. Right? Mindfulness is a tool for self-awareness. How might an understanding of your attachment styles, particularly the anxious preoccupied and the avoidant dismissive attachment styles, lead to a confrontation with these inner conflicts? Does this awareness hold the potential to foster growth? Or are the two doomed to perpetuate their dysfunction? When I come forward, your brother, I'm going to go to the phone lines. Because, let me just say this. I'm really not frustrated, but I'm up for the task. The way people talk about relationships today is childish, is spiritually childish, right? It's outdated. It's limited. It's a broken construct, ideological construct. I'm sorry. You know, I like to give everybody their flowers. I like to let everybody say what they want to say. But I'm just going to say this, right? I'm going to put this on the table right now. 99% of the people talking about relationships is flawed. Because they don't lead with the flaws of self. This is why Zoe is on this journey. I'm learning as much from this topic as you are. That's the first step. Acknowledge you not perfect. The second step is what's not perfect about you. And what are you doing about it? If you're asking somebody to come into your life and make it all better, it's like playing spiritual hooky. Relationships are designed to reveal you, not conceal you. You want to start the healing process, you got to start the reclamation process. Let me reclaim this. I got this from this toxic aspect of my upbringing. I got stonewalling, or I got avoidant communication. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's start reclaiming some of the things that we haven't healed. You say, well, if I haven't healed them, are they in me? So why would I have to reclaim them? See, reclaim what you've attempted to bury. Right? Psychologically speaking, they would say that's suppression versus repression. One of them is unconscious and the other one is conscious. If you are consciously, trying to pack away what you're supposed to be working on, and then in reverse, because this don't even make sense to me. I'm going to pack away what I should be confronting. But I'm going to ask this person that comes into my life to capitulate, bend the knee to my unhealed, packed away wounds, walk on eggshells, and perform a certain way so I can feel comfortable when the source of my comfort and healing is an inside job. I'm going to ask you to behave a certain way. And then I'm going to tell you this is just how I get down. This is how I maneuver. No, you don't get to do that. I'm not your wounds butler. I'm not Benson. I'm not Mr. Belvedere. I'm not Alfred. I'm not going to cater to the work you didn't do. I'm just not going to do it. Right? So then what they do is go find somebody that's compatible with their toxicity. They go dance with them. They go perform for them. They go do all the things they wouldn't do with you. Are y'all listening? And on the surface, the relationship with the new source looks better than the relationship they had with you. That's because you were the spiritual irritant that was supposed to bring their consciousness back to what they should be working on. Ain't no free rides in spirituality. You either gonna do this damn internal work or you're going to grow old and there will be a deepening misery followed by pathological loneliness. When I come forward, the voice of reason going to the phone lines.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Before running for state senate, Laura Richardson was named one of the most corrupt members of Congress, guilty on 7 counts of ripping off taxpayers and a pattern of deception trying to cover it up. Richardson is too shady for state senate. For your state senator, frontline nurses, classroom teachers, and Planned Parenthood Advocacy Project support Democrat Michelle Chambers, a champion for abortion rights, higher wages for workers, and more affordable health care. Democrat Michelle Chambers for state senate.
Ad paid for by nurses and educators supporting Chambers for Senate 2024, sponsored by labor and nonprofit environmental and health organizations, Ad Committee's top funders, SEIU California State Council, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees. Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ooh, listen to the way I slay your crew. Damage, 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 damage. They cock them hammers, wave them llamas, but that's that in front of the camera drama. When them cameras are attached to dollies, I call them dolly llamas. Move, load, hold me in the palm of your hand, load me. You know exactly what I am. Murderer, when I'm inserted onto the top of 15 family members. It's the curse of the proverbial anarchy, start of the martyr. This is what I have been converted to do. What I do is insanity, profanity. When they manually hammer me annually. You don't figure to phase me, yo. I won't tickety tase you, bro. Figure to cut you in half like it's nothing.
I haven't seen any change.
So once you're a narcissist, that's it.
Yeah, you're kind of in a club, and the difficulty is that it's what we call a rubber band theory. Okay, so if you can stretch a rubber band, and it can become quite long. Start at this big and get it this big. But if I let go, that thing's popping back. Mm-hmm. So the way the heartbreak of narcissism is that you can actually train this person to be a little bit more empathic, to not be so jerky and not be so entitled, and actually listen to other people. Here's the but. As soon as there's some stress in the system, the workday doesn't go the way they want. They didn't get the raise they hoped for. Their friend buys a bigger house than them. Their kids are behaving badly. They're just simply getting older. Like life isn't going the way they want. They blow again. The reason
why I played this video of Dr. Ramani is because it is generally accepted that narcissists can't heal. But you can diet narcissist. You can. A diet narcissist, a person like me, like you, somebody with narcissistic tendencies, we can actually heal. Guess what? Self-love. Self-love deficient people, SLDDs. You know what the cure to self-love deficiency is? The codependence, you know what it is? Self-love. So the SLDD and the diet narc can heal. Right? That's why I played the video of Dr. Ramani explaining narcissists generally believed that they cannot reverse their personality disorder. But you can. You don't have to look for a compatible wound to engender a sense of togetherness. I found somebody that gets me. No, they get your wound. Your wound gets their wound. Listen, we're supposed to come together to heal wounds. Not to continue to conceal them, not to continue to put them on a pedestal so that they make relational decisions for you. Because as long as there's a wound there, there will be an end to a relationship. As long as there's an unhealed wound, there will be an end to the relationship. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to see that. But it's true. Do you want a meaningful relationship that ends in death and you guys reconnect in another lifetime and pick up where you left off? Or do you want constant endings, which are short classrooms? You want to stay, you understand? Short classrooms. They don't last forever. It might be 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. Short classrooms, 10 years. Is that what you want to keep repeating? When I come forward, I promise this time, I'm going to the phone lines. I see my callers. I'm going to get to Charleston, South Carolina, and Detroit, Michigan. Hey, we just getting started. Let's get it.
I will twist your liver like Gulliver. Scratch your name off my calendar. See, that was me through a silencer. What you just heard was a 44 caliber. Now you can fill in the place. I will pillage your town, killing them with Dillinger rounds. Filling the clip cause I'm willing to flip. See, I'm so certified, I'm fortified. Like, you'll be mortified if I would on stream. What I've seen, how far, Holy Bible.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. The exonerated Central Park 5 is suing former President Trump for defamation. The group's attorney, Shane Inspector, says the lawsuit was filed in response to comments made by the